Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Today I just have another mini tutorial for you. It's eyes, cheeks, and lips, and it is on this look here. And before you just roll your eyes and go, oh brother, another pink and purple look. Yes, it is, but these are the looks that you all continue to request tutorials on. So I wore this makeup in my recent hair video. It was the L'Oreal Toning Gloss Treatment review and try on. And so many of you commented on my makeup. You wanted to know what I used on my eyes. And as it so happens, these are also products that I recently talked about in my Darlings and Duds video. So I know it's a lot of pinks and purples, but those are colors that really do look good on my skin tone. They are colors that I wear often. I mean, they're the colors in my beauty room. So of course I love pink and purple. Who doesn't, right? But I do have plenty of other tutorials using all different colors on my channel. So if pink and purple is not your thing, just hang around or check back through my video list and you will find plenty of tutorials with orange, green, blue, gold, brown, you name it, I've done it. If you're new here, be sure you hit that subscribe button. And now let's go ahead and get started with this makeup tutorial. All right, so I already got a head start with the eyeshadow primer. I'm using the Smashbox 24-Hour Photo Finish Primer. And then the palette that I used for that video and I'm gonna be using today is this cute little, it's called Pretty Puppy palette from Too Faced. And my best friend gave me this palette just kind of as commemoration of my sweet dog Bojo. So I'm nicknaming this my Bojo palette. So up here is a nice matte cream shade, but it's a little bit bright. So I'm gonna start with this, but I might top it with a shadow from another palette. So I'm using the Sigma E50 and putting this under the brow. And sometimes if I have a lot of sunless tanner on, which I'm currently sunless tanning, and don't worry, I do have a sunless tanner video coming. I'm in the process of testing a few new ones. So you can see it's a little bright for kind of the tan I've got going on. So I'm gonna go into this Sephora. This is the I Love Bloom palette. This is Peony. And so you can take whatever skin tone color or just a smidge lighter than your skin tone. And I just like to do this, helps blending, and then just adds a little lift there under the brow. Okay, going back to our palette, we're gonna go in first with this shade. I love the options in this palette. You have both warm and cool tones. And this is a very cool tone, kind of mauve shade. So if you don't have this palette, go through your collection and look for just kind of a light, cool tone mauve. And I'm using the Morphe M504 just to put that all through the crease. Every shade in this palette is so good. Very pigmented. The mattes are easy to blend. So I've been really impressed with the quality of this palette. And then I'm gonna dust off that brush and I'm going to go in now with just a real light hand with this warm brown and just really concentrate this more the outer edge here. And then we're gonna go in with the deepest shade. And this looks like it has sparkle in it, but when you apply it to the eyes, none of that sparkle stays. So I'm using the Sigma E57, which is a small, dense shader brush. And I am going to just tap this on the outer corner and give us a little bit of depth here. And this is also going to be the shade we use as our liner on our upper lashes too. So this is definitely dark enough to do that. And so I'm just gonna place the shadow here and then go in and blend it out. So making sure I get it all into the corner there under my little fold of my hooded eye. All right, and then I'm gonna go in with the BK Beauty 206 brush and I'm going to tap a little bit of that shade and the mauve shade. and then blend the top edge of that. So we're going to make sure this is all nice and soft. We want to keep that little bit of kind of intensity there in the outer corner, but we want it to all blend up nicely as we go up towards the brow. And then I always like to go back just with that blending brush, and sometimes I'll do this a couple times, just depending on if I think I need more blending. Okay. Now on the lid, I'm gonna start off first with this shade, and this is such a nice, smooth, beautiful pink shade. And it is pretty pink, so in that video, I did end up topping it with something else, which I will show you in a moment. But we're gonna start off with that shade. It's so pretty. So smooth and very summery. And then I just do a little touch. This is a really kind of warm coppery shade. And so I just tap that right where the dark shadow and that pink meet. It's very, very slight, but it just, I think, helps everything blend a little better. So, and then I'm gonna go back with the E57, and first with no extra product, and just kind of brush that over the edge of those shades just to make everything mesh well. Okay, now for the fun part. I am going to use a pigment, and this one is by Bodyography. I always forget about these. These are really good pigments. You can actually get them on Amazon. I'll list them down below along with everything else. But they're kind of a unique formulation. You can apply them dry and you get very little fallout. At least that's been my experience. Let's hope for that again today. So I'm going to start off just with my finger. I'm pressing it in, and so it's not loose in here to where if you take off the lid, it's gonna fly everywhere, but it's also not packed. It's not in a cream or anything. So I'm gonna start off with that pigment just on my fingers. And this just adds, oh, so much beautiful shine and sparkle. I love, in particular, this shade. I just think it really can just become the focal point of any eye look. It's so nice. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of it on this Sigma E60 and spritz my brush with the Maybelline setting spray. You can use any setting spray you have. And I'm just going to tap that on, and it just kind of makes everything melt together and adds a really nice kind of intense metallic shine. And then of course you want to keep your eyes looking down while it dries. Okay, and that is almost dry, but while it finishes, we're going to go to the lower lash line, and I'm going to cool things down on the lower lashes just a little bit. I'm using the Bare Minerals Mineralist eyeliner, and this is in the shade Graphite. So this was kind of an odd choice, I think you'll think at the beginning, but somehow I loved how it kind of paired with the shadows. I will top it with some shadow in a moment, but I just kind of really liked the overall effect that it had on this look. And now we're going to add a little bit of shadow over the top of that and then on our upper lash line. So I'm using the Morphe M165. This one has a slight angle to it. It's just because my M432 is dirty. So I'm going to start off first with this dark shade. And I'm going to use this first on the lower lashes, just right here in the outer edge, and connect it to that upper kind of lash line area. And then I'll wipe that brush off, and I'm going to add a little bit of this shade on kind of this center part and just kind of blend a little bit towards the inner corner. I was gonna add just a little bit of that mauve tone, but I feel like this is a color that's, since it's not overtly pink, it's not gonna make your eyes look red and irritated. All right, and then go back to the dark shade, and we're gonna use this on our upper lash line, and I am going to now work it into the roots of the lashes. And I know I talk about this often, but I feel like I need to have something along the lash line because when I apply mascara, it will get all over the skin right here. And I just feel like this kind of helps disguise that a little bit. So it kind of looks like I know how to apply mascara. So, and then when I get out here to the outer edge, I am going to bring this up just a little bit and then just kind of feather it in. And then I'll go in with the 204 brush from BK Beauty, a little bit of that shadow, and just use that to further soften the edge of that liner, just so it kind of disappears into the crease color there we have an outer edge. One final blend through the crease with the 206 brush. And why I like to do this, especially after applying like a pigment, is it just kind of flicks away any of the glitter that might be sitting right in the crease there. And it also just kind of helps there not to be a harsh line between that glitter and our crease color. As you can tell, I jumped ahead a little bit. I applied some concealer and a little bit of contour, but I did not powder my face because we're gonna apply a cream blush. And this is the Rare Beauty blush in the shade Hope. Now, these are so pigmented. Even a color like this that's not so scary, I'm still scared to apply it directly to my face. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand. I mean, actually that's too much. And I'm gonna use my Luxe 522 tapered highlighter brush, and I'm gonna work a little bit of it into my hand first, and then apply it to my cheeks. And these blushes, because they're so pigmented, that bottle of cream blush is gonna last forever, but I would just caution you not to apply it directly to your cheeks unless you're really good at just getting the tiniest little amount and blending like crazy with your finger. So I'm gonna do a little bit, I'm gonna bring it up on my temples. I mean, just look how pretty that color is though. Oh my goodness. Such a fresh pink shade. And I feel like it's in between. It's not too cool, but it's also not warm. So it's not looking orange or anything, but oh, so pretty. And look how much I have left on the back of my hands. So you really don't need much of that blush at all. All right, now for highlighter, I'm gonna do, I think I did a two-pronged effect in that video. So I'm starting off with the new Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Beauty Light Wand in the shade Pillow Talk, and oh, it's so pretty. You know, I talk about these and I always say I plan on not liking them because they are expensive. They're always out of stock, but it's just really hard for me not to like them. And this shade, it does have a little bit of some pink tones in it. So it's kind of a cooler silvery pink tone, but I don't know, it is unique, I feel like, especially in a cream blush formulation. And these Beauty Light Wands, the formulation, they're easy to blend. You do have time to work them in, but then they set and stay in place all day. So these are great going into the warmer months where our makeup tends to just want to melt off. This is definitely one that will stay in place throughout the day. I just set my face with a little bit of the Becca Hydra Mist setting powder, which is no longer available. And now I'm gonna go in with bronzer, and I'm using the Gucci bronzer shade 3, and this is the Essence Full Powder Brush. This is such a nice brush. I like kind of pulling out some of the brushes I haven't used in a while. And this is one of my favorites for bronzer. And if you have a bronzer that's difficult to blend, this is a great brush, but this bronzer blends itself. So just adding a touch of that, the tops of the cheeks. Oh, love this bronzer. Now to further brighten just a little bit on the tops of the cheeks, I'm going in with the other new Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Pillow Talk Glow, Pillow Talk Multi Glow. And this is the cooler of the two that's available. It's called Romance Light. And if you swirl all these together, you get a similar color of that light wand. But if you hang out in these two colors, you get kind of more of a neutral, very light color. So this is what we're gonna do on the tops of the cheeks and the inner corner. So let's start in the inner corner. I'm gonna swirl those two colors together and just tap that on the inner corner and then brush this onto about 1/3 of the lid. You know, this is one of my favorite tricks to do with whatever highlighter I'm gonna use on my face. Isn't that just so pretty? Oh my goodness. And then I'll take the MAC fan brush, 140 fan brush, and just go in those two shades and add just a dusting to the top, very top of the cheek, bridge of the nose, and the Cupid's bow. Now, obviously I applied some mascara. I'll leave that combination below, and I have some mascara I need to clean up, but I gotta wait for it to dry. So in the meantime, let's add our lip combination. And for starters, I did apply the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot around the edge of the lips. For my liner today, I'm using the Essence. This is their kind of new reformulation of their lip liners. And this is the Stay 8 Hour Lip Liner in Curious. It's a beautiful kind of nude pink shade. And for lipstick, I talked about this in my recent Darlings and Duds video, and this is the Christian Audette lipstick. This is the collaboration with YouTuber Lisa D. The shade is Golden Hour, and this is just so pretty, great, unique formula. Smells wonderful too. So you can see there, it built up quite a bit of color, but you can wear it very sheerly. You can wear it on top of other lipsticks, but it's just such a unique formula because usually sheer lipsticks are very emollient and you feel like they're gonna slip and slide right off your lips. And this one, it has kind of a stiffer texture, so it allows you to build up nicely, but it feels really moisturizing and hydrating on the lips. So love that. And then the last little trick that I did in that video, which I've been enjoying doing, is I'm adding a little bit of the MAC Creme de Nude lipstick right in the center. And that adds just a little bit of the look of fullness to the lips. All right, I fixed my hair, put in some earrings, dressed for the day. Now here is our finished look. And overall, even though we use some dark shades and similar colors, you know, purples and pinks that I normally do, I feel like still the end result is just a little bit lighter and fresher feeling and looking. And I think part of that is because the tones are overall just a little cooler. And same with the lip combination. I just feel like instead of looking like this is more of a winter pink purple look, I do feel like this is more fresh and ready for spring and summer. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. As always, I will leave in the description box below, click where it says show more or that tiny little arrow over here. I will leave a list and links to all of the products that I showed you today. Thank you as always so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.